Hi, I'm Lucy Faye. I'm currently under house arrest with the rest of the state of California in order to avoid the coronavirus. For my senior project, a project I could do at my tiny school in order to graduate, I've decided to review movies. First of which is A Marriage Story by Noah Baumbach, a movie that was great, but I hate it. So first off, I need to tell you a little bit about myself. So, I'm pretentious when it comes to movies. I like things that other people would be bored by. It's just how I've always been. I'm a film snob. And despite how proud I am of that label, I love trash. Family dramedies are everything to me. Things like Love Actually, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and This Is Where I Leave You, my lifeblood. All these movies I just mentioned have different levels of acclaim. But Noah Baumbach is on a whole nother fucking level. After I turned off this movie halfway through, I decided I should look through his IMDb page. So I was scrolling through, and it struck me. He has made movies I've seen before, all of which I turned off halfway. When I turned on any of these movies, I was expecting a well-done but formulaic family drama with the standard parental asshole, the fuck-up sibling, the quarrels, the banter, all leading up to one or more characters exploding, the straight man getting his just desserts, and the lovable misfit finding the girl of his dreams. This formula requires likable and unlikable characters, a clear streamline, and an ending where everything gets tied up, everyone's happy except for the villain, and our heartstrings are pulled. This is not what Noah Baumbach makes, which is fine. I like movies that aren't meant to be playing in the background of a sleepover party. But here's the thing. He keeps tricking me, and I'm mad. It's just his ad campaigns. They're very misleading. Now, I can see how this isn't exactly the movie's fault, and I doubt Baumbach had a huge hand in it, but Netflix did a huge-ass ad campaign directed at fuckers like me who love rom-coms and dysfunctional families. They made this movie look like it was a big-budget Nancy Meyers movie with a handsome young cast coming apart and a family staying together. But divorce isn't fun or cute or full of quirky characters, and neither is this movie. It was trickery. So I turned this movie off halfway through, wondering, where are my beloved rom-com cliches? A week later, when I finished the movie, I did so with the expectation that maybe it won't be my new feel-good movie, but I could still get something out of it. I was wrong. Noah Baumbach's movies are ambiguous. Fine. I have respect for any director who can keep me entertained while not spoon-feeding me what's happening, where characters aren't right or wrong, where everyone has flaws and where it might not end in a satisfying wrap-up. But that doesn't make it a good movie. I've begun to feel that ambiguity in wide-released movies are kind of just a way for the viewers to pat themselves on the back for watching such a complicated and deep movie. I feel this way about big movies like Mother and The Lobster. A lot of people saw them and they had raving reviews, but I know about one person in my day-to-day life who's extremely serious about movies who would choose to watch a movie like Schenectady, New York or 2001: A Space Odyssey because it's their favorite kind of movie. Most of us watch it because it's acclaimed and we're supposedly going to get something out of it. They're beautifully shot and give you legitimate pause. They let you think and let you take what you need from them more than what the director wants you to take. This is not a bad thing, but it's not something that everyone's going to like. This is a point of confusion I have around A Marriage Story. Okay, I have to sit still. If you listen to Netflix's advertisements, you're going to think that a lot of people saw it and everyone loved it. But in my experience, a lot of people saw it and the only responses I've heard is that it was good, I was entertained, but goddamn it made me feel like shit. This leads me to my central complaint about a movie that was actually good. Now, I'm not an SJW trolling for the non-wokeness in newer movies, but boy oh man, how could I not be kind of offended by this movie? Oh wait, off the bat, I'm not gonna lie, I was on Adam Driver's side from the get-go. He's one of my favorite younger actors right now. I loved him on SNL, I like a lot of the movies he was in, and from his character's perspective, one of his primary motives while they're in trial is to get his son to live in New York. Now, I'm a New Yorker currently living in California, and will always see New York as the superior option. But, my stated biases aside, I think this movie is sexist. And I'm sure someone on some podcast or newspaper article has said the same thing, but I haven't heard it. All I know is my mom agrees with me, and that's all the assurance I need. So, this movie hates its leading lady. She's the reason why these two beautiful young people are going through so much pain and hardship. She's the one whose career was saved. She's the one who moved to New York from her family in LA and her successes, and she's the one who lawyers up first. Charlie is a smart, handsome, seemingly charismatic and passionate director and father who came from a broken home to thrive as an indie director in New York. Nicole is a former Hollywood B-lister who was given the opportunity to fulfill herself in Charlie's theater. He made her relevant again. He made her career worth something. The section of the movie where Nicole is explaining herself and why she needs this divorce to her lawyer, I believed was the only scene in this entire movie where everything wasn't stacked against Nicole. It's Nicole who refuses to read her sheet. It's Nicole who refuses to try and fix their marriage. It's Nicole who moves her son to LA. And it's Nicole who, after talking to an unfamiliar producer who clearly went through a much rougher divorce than she did, decides to lawyer up. Then, as the movie goes forward, it's Charlie, the self-made, loving, emotional man who just won a Genius Grant and got his play on Broadway, whose life begins to fall apart. Every single bad thing that we see Charlie do in this movie, besides, of course, cheating, is prompted by Nicole. When he hires a tough lawyer, it's only in response to her lawyer being extremely aggressive to his cheaper, nicer lawyer. When he calls her a drunk, it's because she was threatening to take his Genius Grant and because she wanted primary custody of their kid. And when he says that he felt disgusting next to her in bed, it's prompted by her comparing him to his abusive father. Nicole's explanation for every single rash, self-serving action she does in this movie. Charlie was a bad husband who made her life hell. But here's how I see it. A bad husband doesn't have to mean a bad person. Charlie might be a bad husband, but Nicole has turned herself in to a bad person. A movie in this style with positive, realistic, familial views, when Charlie and Nicole finally go to court, they should be at an equal standing in the viewer's mind. But up to this point, everything's stacked against Nicole. And yet she wins. And she thrives. And I just feel so shitty because the good guy lost. While Nicole has a new boyfriend, is finally thriving in her field, and has primary custody of their son, Charlie is sad and single in New York, rarely seeing his son, and slumming it with his theater group because they lost their spot on Broadway and Charlie used all his money in the divorce. So, yay, I guess the LA sellout finally gets the retribution she deserves for being in that horrible marriage with the self-made entrepreneurial man who came from a broken home and in whose career she is now more publicly successful. I'm salty. I'm salty because...
Hi y'all, Lucy here. I tried to explain some kind of complicated stuff here and I did it really poorly. So basically what I tried to say is a common argument against feminism, or the idea that white women are still marginalized, is that in divorce court, the women always win. Because they're stealing money from a hardworking man, and 9 out of 10 times they win primary custody. But here's the thing. In terms of legitimate financial support, the woman loses often. Women who worked before, during, or after divorce can lose an average of 20% of their personal income when their marriage ends, while men's tend to rise more than 30%. The post-divorce poverty rate for women is 3 times that it is for men. On top of that, it's just a fact that more women leave employment after they have a child, which leaves 3 people, 2 households, and 1 check. On average, no one wins everything. There's nothing clear and nothing earned or saved is as simple as that. Losing a child is hard, but so is raising a child alone. Paying child support is hard, but so is relying on someone else to make up for your lack of work experience. The whole thing is not clear-cut, and this movie makes me mad because they make it seem like it is. Back to the visual part of the video.
Doesn't matter how much I wanted to like this movie. Doesn't matter how much I love the New York City versus LA debate, or how Adam Driver being an emotional man makes me absolutely quake. I think this movie is a waste of time and a waste of renown, and I would not recommend it.